Welcome, everyone, to the Food, Farms, and Chefs radio show with restaurant industry author Kevin Wilson, highly acclaimed chef Gene Blum, and food photojournalist Amaris Pollock. Join them as they interview the biggest names in the restaurant industry, tell you about the latest food trends, and give you recipes and cooking tips. So let's get the show started.
Welcome to our listeners around the world and via the podcast and our Facebook podcast platform, our listeners on our FM station in New York, and our 2 Philadelphia radio stations. It's Tuesday evening drive time for you. We have an outstanding show for you today, complete with a great guest lineup. Amaris Pollock, introduce us to your fabulous guest.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to Chef Georgeann Leaming, who is the Culinary Director of FoodieHall in New Jersey. Georgeann, welcome to Food, Farms, and Chefs.
Thank you for having me here.
No problem. And for our listeners out there, just so you know, she brought like a whole array of some of the food from FoodieHall, and she is so talented. I've had her food before at your events, and I ordered it like a Secret Santa kind of thing, and I love what you do. But now, where did you get started, and who inspired you to become a chef?
Honestly, just growing up, I was the youngest of 3 girls, single-parent household, so we cooked. I didn't go to culinary school until I was like 23, honestly. I was a preschool teacher before that. So what prompted me, or I don't even remember now. It was back then I was like, okay, what can I do? I need to go to school for something that I'm going to enjoy, maybe make a little money in. I think I think of because I like to cook, and Food Network was pretty big back then. Maybe that inspired me, but I don't think I had any big epiphany moment like, this is what I need to do.
There wasn't like some, light bulb moment that was like, I'm going to be driven to be a chef.
No, but I'm just, I'll just say that I'm one of those people that are lucky that the first time I did go to school for something that, I did well with it and enjoyed it.
And, speaking of where you went to school, you graduated from the Academy of Culinary Arts, and your first job outside of there was what?
Well, during school, I was actually just working at a country club because it was a good time, time-wise for me, because I was also a young mother. I had my daughter my beginning of the culinary school. It was fun. First semester, pregnant with her, working full-time in the preschool and going to school. But when I graduated, I started at Harrah's in Atlantic City. And they mentored me up and helped me my way, as a cook up to a chef.
No, that was at one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants, was it not?
Not in the beginning, no.
Oh, okay.
No. I came back and left. I worked my way through some of the casinos and,
Yeah, you definitely did. I saw on your resume, like, you had a lot of different casinos that you were working at. That is, very powerful. Like, you have to have a lot of drive because you're pushing out food very quickly, right?
A lot of people, especially, back in 1999, I'm going to age myself here, when I graduated, it was a lot different. The next thing was really booming, obviously, fell back for a few years and come back again. But, the numbers that they do compared to some regular, restaurants is pretty big.
And, I feel like that's where you probably earned some of your, earmarks, or got your feet wet, per se, learning how to push out a large quantity of food in just, a high-demand kind of environment. So you also opened up, this is not your first time, or rodeo, I would say, working in a restaurant setting where you have a lot of hands-on experience. You've also owned or co-owned a couple of restaurants along the way within, I believe, Philadelphia. The sandwich, I want to say it correctly without laughing.
Sandwich. Yes. And supper. And so the supper is like, hey, Ma, what's for supper? That was my boyfriend's thing. So, we started in Northern Liberties with this supper, and then we opened up Sandwich by Supper, and then switched them both over. So we're in Northern Liberties and down in Queens Village.
Yeah. Now, you currently, with FoodieHall, you're working in an environment where you're working with the 2 owners who, they're known for, owning a restaurant. They're heavy in the restaurant business, and they opened up an Apparition Kitchen, if I remember correctly.
Well, that's our
under
company.
Yeah. But they've owned other things like the
Wingcraft.
Yeah, Wingcraft in Atlantic City.
Nick does, yes.
Yes. And now, how did you come across them, or how did they reach out and find you?
Well, actually, I worked with Harrah's when I was at Ramsay Steak. Dan's girlfriend worked at Mortaranos. So during COVID, she had reached out, and they had just started planning all this. We're looking for somebody, so she reached out to me to see if I was interested, in hearing about what they were doing.
And that's kind of awesome because, now you're like close to me and I have a wide selection of food that I can, choose from, which again, viewers, we will have pictures of the food up. I think I actually posted up food today. Mm-hmm. So if you want to look at some of the foods that FoodieHall offers that Chef Leaming has out, you can look on my site or even go to FoodieHall to see it. But why don't we delve into FoodieHall itself, because this is a huge undertaking. It's not just one restaurant. It's a bunch of different ghost kitchens or culinary concepts under one roof. So
we like to call it like basically e-restaurant or virtual food hall. Just because during the pandemic, a lot of ghost kitchens came about, and they didn't all get a great, rap as far as, because some of them were just, people trying to get by and just kind of just throwing out, the food, whatever they could. This was a really well thought out kitchen built just for this purpose. It's 4,000 square foot along the kitchen. It was an empty warehouse space, and it was built with, state of the art, equipment, and for efficiency and ease for the cooks to use.
Yeah. Now, I personally, I'm eclectic when I want to order food, and it's kind of perfect because this is part of why I'm so excited about what you guys have going on. Because when I get hungry, especially if I'm hangry, #hangry, I get to a point where I'm like, I want to eat this and I want to eat that and I want to, and it's eclectic. So, some of the things that I love, of course, you already figured this out from how many times I'm like, can I have?
Yeah.
So you've Dan noodles,
Yes.
which is based in the Asian culinary scene.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have the vermicelli noodle bowl, and which I'm excited about. But you have the burgers, and how did you come about creating all these different dishes? Getting to my point. I'm so excited. You have all these different dishes, and when I get that hangry sense when I want to order something, it's available. I can eat from each individual culinary concept and have it delivered to my door, but I don't have to call around and can you give me this, and then call up another place. So I think that's fantastic. But how was it coming up with the different huge varieties of menus for FoodieHall?
Well, first off, that's the whole point of why we have the varieties, because it's about not this or that for families, it's this and that. So basically, we sat down with Nick and Dan, and we were just going over, what food concepts we were looking at, between the burgers and fried chicken and things like that. And we just saying, what can we do to cover kind of everybody's taste, and that we get everything in the gamut there, what we need to do it. So, it started with, with the burger concept. Of course, we have to have a good burger. They have great burgers. At Wingcraft, we use, both we use the Frida meats and Fumica brioche rolls. And then because I'm also was known in Philly for my best of fried chicken sandwich through Philly Mag, I'm like, okay, fried chicken sandwiches, that's a concept, called Jersey fried chicken. Then we just worked our way down. What else? Of course, pizza. We have great pizza. We have a great Detroit recipe. Working on the thin crust right now, and just worked our way around. Okay, we're going to have some tacos. We're going to have this. So then, once we got the concepts we wanted to start with, then we're just really working on the menus, and then once we get them all open, we just work on a few more.
Yeah, because right now, I can say personally, now that I've tried your crust pizza, I have tried. I'm going to botch it.
Forniere.
See, I told you I knew I was going to mispronounce it. I've tried your meatballs from there, your arancini balls. I've tried, obviously from Canteen Wok, or Canteen Noodle Bar. Mm-hmm. I've had numerous stuff because I do love Asian food. And the Dando tacos, I've had, and you have that out in
we have the quesadilla out there, yes.
Yeah, which is interesting and flavorful, and the consomme to dip it in. So what are some of the other things that you have that you've made available that are popular items?
Each station kind of has their own thing. With the Nick Burger, people really like it, which I brought today, the Smokehouse Burger. We can get a single or a double. So, I mean, really the best way is the double, because there's nothing like when there's like cheese wedged in between the two layers and all the fat, So each one, it's the best. Even if it's just our simple Nick's, which is our basic burger, it's still just like a whole nother level when you get that double patty. And we do a smash patty, so, it's just, you get the nice, seared edge and all, so I really love that. And the Simply Foul, once again, we have an original Jersey crispy, but we have one with pimento, southern with our homemade pimento cheese and fried pickles. And so, there's the best seller in each category. Grilled cheese, we have a short rib grilled cheese, which is great. We do a brunch grilled cheese. Oh, actually a really popular one, the Fluffernutter. So we do a grilled one with the peanut butter fluff and strawberry jam. And then we have the Elvis with the peanut butter, banana, and bacon. So... And, so like I said, each one, and the great thing is, so you can get, okay, well, I'm going to get the sweet thing there and that, or the warm baked cookies for dessert. And especially, because, Jersey is going recreational sales starting the 21st, so, we'll have all the taste and everything covered for all that as well,
What was that, Jean?
That's very important.
Exactly, I mean, you got to get...
Exactly. You definitely have to take care of the clients. But yeah, so and it's exciting because you mentioned the warm, cookies. Mm-hmm. These are not small cookies. These are like hold in your hand, like they take up a large quantity of hand holding space. And what you did at the event with the Van Leeuwen, yeah, their ice cream, which you also sell pints for.
Yes.
So, I mean, people out there listening and anyone seeing this on the YouTube channel, it is outstanding, because if you are having a craving, if you have a group of people that are hanging out with a large party and everybody wants something different, this is perfect because it's available.
Yes. And actually what we do is we sell build your own little ice cream cookie sandwich at home, so you can get the 4 cookies and the pint of ice cream. So, and they're huge though. I mean, you saw you can cut them in half for you guys at the event, and it was just they're 4-ounce cookies. They're big. They're warm to order for you before they go out in a foil bag, so they're warm when they get to you. We also have little milks for chocolate milk if you want milk and cookies, or regular milk. So we have all the bases covered really.
Yeah. And it's and I want to also mention the fact that you have a program where you're giving back to people who are either food insecure or you need to, or looking for a meal and they're kind of maybe having trouble. Mm-hmm. You have a program, Meal for Meal. Do you want? Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the program?
Yeah, so I mean, in the industry, restaurants and chefs, it's really our responsibility to keep people fed, and that's whether they are paying customers or not. So we have a Meal for Meal program, and so what we do is, for every meal that's purchased, we donate a meal. So it'll be through Feeding America, and they distribute it to the local food banks. So. And
that's good, and you are going to continue to do that throughout, your open hours, no matter what.
Yeah, that's part of our, it's part of our company mission. So. That will always be the case.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any other events that are coming up, or what's your next concept that you're opening up? Are you allowed to divulge that?
Well, it is Fournier. So we're working on that this next week or two and have that open. I'm going down to a women's chef conference for a couple of days next week in Florida. So when I get back, we'll probably launch that. But I also like I said, I was working on a thin crust recipe for crisscross as well. We want to make sure we have that down perfectly before we launch that. So basically all our varieties there in the Detroit will be available in that as well.
Yeah. And I also, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
If I can chime in here just for our listeners, because Detroit pizza is not something that is really common. I personally love Detroit pizza, but can you give our listeners a little tutorial on what's different about Detroit pizza?
Sure. It's one of my favorites right now too. So basically, it's similar to a deep dish, but it's lighter, more like a focaccia versus too heavy. But really, what makes the pizza is about the crown, the cheese crown around it. So we really focus on getting a lot of cheese along the edges. So as it bakes, it really just becomes this nice, like the piece you always pick off that's melting off the edge, whether grilled cheese or anything that really caramelizes. Well, you've got that around the whole entire piece of pizza, and we cut into 8 slices, so every slice gets a piece of that crust. That's really what makes it special.
And that's something that I would fight over. Like growing up, I would be like, actually, like I feel like everybody kind of fights over which one has that caramelized cheese because there's just something absolutely like tantalizing about that, and it tastes so good. And now, what for our listeners do you offer gluten-free wise and vegan wise?
So we do have, we'll start with vegan, vegan, vegetarian. So each menu does have options on it. We do right now use Tyndall plant-based chickens, a little bit new in the U.S., but it offers us, great flexibility for whether, if you order the fried chicken sandwich, you have options to have it, chicken breast, the Tyndall chicken, fried or grilled. Over in Canting, we have a char siu Tyndall ramen. We have the chile verde Tyndall on the tacos. So every station has something. Pretty soon we'll probably have it over for the parm sandwich as well on Criss Crust. So there's options, obviously, things without the meat in general. But and it's gluten-free. All our tortillas for the tacos are corn tortillas. So they're safe to use, to eat. And then for Canting, there's many rice noodle dishes. And then to make sure that everybody can still eat the rice noodles after the sauce is on it, all our sauces are based with the gluten-free soy and hoisin automatically, so this way there's no issue with that.
Oh, that's a good idea. I love that. And it's extremely tasty, by the way. Like
you can't tell it's just as good as, the real one, just, all the flavor that goes into each one. But this way, there's something for everybody and everybody can, get what they need out of it.
Now, when obviously you have the ability to make just about anything. But when you're cooking, like, do you have anything in particular that, like, you're like, oh, I'm craving this?
It depends on the day of the week or the month. I mean, I go, like, I really do enjoy Asian as well. My family is, it's Italian background, so nothing like a fresh pasta for me. So Fornieri, I'm going to be really excited about. I've already making my meatballs and my Sunday gravy. It's all mine, homemade, but when we get to the pastas, that'll be fun. So yeah, it just depends on my day of the week. One day I love a taco. Right now, my favorite is the Korean pork tacos on Dondo. And so like I said, it depends on the day of the week. I don't have any favorites.
And yeah, I can see that, like, especially like from the culinary world. I'm sure that your palate needs to be like more expansive. Now, I want to also mention just real quick because I think it's important that people know, if they don't know already, that you've been on television. So if you want to see you in action, they can go back and online and go to the Food Network and see you creating dishes or whatever on Chopped. Mm-hmm. Now, from my understanding, you made your chicken. I believe your chicken for Chopped, or was that for something else?
For the sambal chili chicken, maybe?
I think so.
So actually what it was is I got one of my competitors on Chopped was Aria, and she has a place, a little business called Aria's Malaysian Kitchen. Not even little. She's been doing such an amazing job and recognized by a lot of the food magazines. So out of Brooklyn, she makes these Malaysian sambals. And so she originally gave me that recipe for when I had my restaurant. So now it's available as a sandwich or as a bowl on Canting too. So
which is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
And so I wanted to mention that because I know that was somewhere on your menu. So
oh yeah, two different spots. We like to cross utilize things. So it's on the sandwich menu for Simply Fowl, and then also as a bowl with the green beans and sambal chili sauce with coconut and sambal. It's delicious.
Now before we have to go to commercial break, I want to also mention you are going to be competing in an amazing event, and our next guests are going to be on talking about it. Dish It Up.
Yes.
So when is that?
That is in May
18th.
18th. I always forget the dates. That's what I think on May 18th. Yes. Because actually, I was supposed to be on it the year of COVID. So for R2L when I was working there, and it was supposed to be within a couple of weeks after everything closed down. I had done the event before, but it's really great for helps support women that have been abused and need the support there. So yeah, to me it's I don't even look at it as the competition. It's just be able to provide that we can earn some money for a good cause.
All right.